Every aspiring musician has visions to live the dream, which usually entails getting signed to a record label, letting them take care of everything, laying down a couple hit records, touring the world, and in the end, getting rich. Most artists these days walk into meetings blindly and get offered something called a 360 deal, which is completely different than the traditional record deal artists like the Beatles and Led Zeppelin were offered. Some of you might be asking, what is a 360 deal? What does it entail? And why do some artists like it and others don't? It's hard to look at a 360 deal from a certain viewpoint because everyone is so biased to them. Here's an explanation of a 360 deal from entertainment attorney Ricky Berger. In other words, a completely unbiased legal standpoint.
Legendary deals like from Madonna for $120 million to join Live Nation on a 360 basis. What does 360 mean? 360 means every part of her career or a 360 artist's career is handled by the label, okay? Good news, the label's interests and the artist's interests are completely aligned with everything that happens in the career of the artist. Perhaps the bad news is that this label, this company, may not have expertise in all the areas in which the artist is involving him or herself. The jury's out.
As you can see, the main difference behind the 360 deals and the traditional record label deal is that through the 360 deals, the label has access to literally everything you as an artist can make money on, such as record sales, merchandise sales, ticket sales, endorsement deals, ringtone sales, royalties from radio play, payment from performances on TV or movies, and literally anything else the artist makes money from. People like this because although the label is taking money from every aspect of your career, they're also supposed to vouch for you in every aspect of your career as well. The label is supposed to record the artist, book shows and tours for the artist, sell merchandise for the artist, get the artist on the radio, get the artist on shows like Saturday Night Live, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, all those shows, and essentially just build a name for inspiring artists. For artists that have nothing, you can see how this would sound enticing. The record label essentially builds the artist up from nothing, but in turn has to take a little from every aspect of the artist. Unfortunately, it could end up being a bigger percentage taken of money than just a traditional record label deal. Unlike the traditional deal, which only includes providing an agent, which may or may not help the artist, recording the artist and trying to get them on the radio, the label acts as a manager to the artist in the 360 deal, instead of assigning them one. However, the upcoming of the 360 deal is coming at the same time as we are moving on to an age of digitalism, which comes down to the fact that with all the new technology these days, record sales mean less and less because, let's face it, anyone can sound good on a recording these days. The labels realize this now and as a result are looking for young, fresh faces that can put on a really good live show. Because without a good live show, the label will not be making the money that it desires through the performances. As you can see through this chart up here. As you can see by this chart, the amount of revenue brought in was decreasing. The amount of revenue brought in is decreasing steadily with the increase of digital downloads. The label saw this as a huge threat to the industry, which it is, so they had to act, thus creating a 360 deal. However, the 360 deal gets its notorious outlook from the public for obvious reasons. It is an unfortunate fact that many artists have been screwed over by this 360 deal, many more artists have been screwed over by this 360 deal than benefited. They're seen by the public as a last resort, cynical money grab by the label. Let me show you a video of, as you can see through this poorly animated video, this is traditionally how the 360 deal is viewed because this is how it's turned out time and time again.
60 degrees, all directions. C, instead of simply taking royalties on albums, we take money from your t-shirt sales and your publishing as well. Wait, are you going to design my t-shirts and market them and sell them? No. Just take the money. And publishing? Are you going to get my songs on the radio and on TV and film? No. Just take your money. Wow, that sounds like pure Pure business savvy, I was going to say lunacy. Whoa.
Unfortunately, that's just how the industry works, and that's why some artists have been screwed over or been benefited sometimes. As Ricky Berger stated, you want to see that? As Ricky Berger stated earlier, one of the biggest dangers you're putting yourself into with the 360 deal is that you're trusting someone with something that is not necessarily their expertise. Labels specialize in recording your music and getting radio play for it, not selling merchandise and publicizing shows. You wouldn't trust a plumber to retile your roof just because you already have the person in your house. Yet another reason that some people find these 360 propositions ridiculous. Some people have disregarded labels completely, trying to find success in other ways. Some artists stay forever stuck on SoundCloud or MySpace without the help of a label. However, some bands have become very successful. One of the biggest success stories through the complete disregard of a label is a major band some of you may know, Radiohead. In October of 2007, the band Radiohead decided to record and release their album In Rainbows without a record label. They decided to create a website for the record as www.inrainbows.com and started a system where you pay what you want for the CD. They left their payment in the hands of the listeners and were greatly rewarded. The band declined to release the exact numbers of the financial success of In Rainbows, but experts estimated that the profits exceeded $6.5 million, and they did it all themselves. After the initial success from the pay what you want model, the band decided to contract with iTunes and sell the album in stores, which within a month was pushed to the top of traditional album charts. The band became famous worldwide and received critical acclaim for this new business model and said screw you to the critics that doubted their success and said that the band was devaluing music with their neglection of a record label. So as you guys can see, that this 360 deal can be a positive and a negative thing because it depends on what you make of it. There's been plenty of success stories and plenty of people that are now homeless. And many artists have found success with a 360 deal and many have found it without it. However, hopefully, if you are ever in a position where you may sign a multi-million-dollar record contract, you'll have enough information to make the right decision. Thank you.
All right, Jessica, what did you think?
I thought the first you started with your name, you presented yourself, like hi, my name is Jordan, and then the attention device. I'm not like you just kind of went on. You didn't really have a specific attention device. You kind of just went describing like the success of a band, and that I was a little unclear about the topic. At first, I thought it was like you were comparing 360 with the traditional version, but I think in the end is when you really cleared it up for me. Like, okay, like you were trying to just see the pros and cons of a 360 deal as well. I thought the YouTube video that you had in the beginning wasn't as necessary because later on you re-quoted him, like as you saw Ricky, he said this. I thought you could have explained the 360 better than it was. And also the third YouTube video was a little more monotone, so it was kind of like I really had to try to listen to the comedy, because there was comedy in it, but it was like just like kind of funny. But I think that you can tell, this is your feel, because as a